Good evening, this is Abdurrahman Yusuf with your latest news bulletin from Somalia. Tonight, we bring you the top developments shaping the nation, from high-level political meetings to emerging regional dynamics and diplomatic shifts. Here, it's what making the headlines. Farmajo accuses President Hassan Sheikh of constitutional violations, warns of rising political crisis. Somali cabinet approves Saudi security deal to strengthen military cooperation. Somaliland grapples with missiles outbreak as cases surge past 200. Somalia receives military equipment from AU to boost fight against Al-Shabaab. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. Former Somalia President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo issued a strong rebuke of President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud on Wednesday, accusing him of intentionally violating critical provisions of the transitional federal constitution. Farmajo warned that Somalia risks deeper political instability due to divisive functionalism and governance. He specifically highlighted breaches of Articles 50, 65, 87 and 92, which address national unity, the functions of the federal institutions and parliamentary independence. In a blistering address from Doha, former Somalia President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo accused President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud of shredding the nation's constitution, igniting fears of a deepening political crisis. Farmajo alleged that Hassan Sheikh is rigging the National Consultative Forum to tighten his grip on power, appointing an illegitimate electoral commission to run through a contentious one-person, one-vote election by 2026. He warned that these moves threaten Somalia's hard-won stability, risking clan divisions and unrest. As tensions flare in Mogadishu, regional leaders and opposition voices echo Farmajo's concerns, criticizing Hassan Sheikh's reform as a power grab. Farmajo called for an urgent national dialogue to bridge the divide, cautioning that without compromise, Somalia could slide into chaos, undermining its fragile unity. A rapidly spreading missiles outbreak in Somaliland has led to over 220 confirmed cases, triggering urgent calls for vaccination and enhanced public health monitoring. On Thursday, the Ministry of Health Development reported 227 cases across 6 regions, primarily in Hargeisa and Berbera. Health officials are alarmed by the virus' swift spread, particularly among children, many of whom are receiving hospital treatment. In Somaliland, a rapidly spreading measles outbreak has gripped the nation, with the Ministry of Health Development reporting 227 confirmed cases across 6 regions, primarily in the bustling cities of Hargeisa and Berbera, as of Thursday, May 15, 2025. The highly contagious virus, fueled by low vaccination rates, has sparked alarm among health officials, who are now racing against time to contain its spread. The outbreak, first announced by the ministry via Somaliland Standard, has exposed the region's fragile public health system, with only 15% children in Hargeisa having received the measles vaccine, according to a 2020 survey. Health officials warned that Somaliland's vaccination coverage, estimated at 46% for the first dose of measles containing vaccine, is far below the 95% needed to halt the transmission. The second dose remains unavailable in Somaliland, further weakening defenses. Compounding the crisis, ongoing drought and displacement have left many families malnourished, making children more vulnerable to severe complications. Memories of the 2017 outbreak, which saw over 23,000 cases, loom large, driving fears of wide epidemic. The government of Somalia has received a large consignment of military-grade equipment from the African Union as it continues to strengthen critical defense infrastructure and intensify operations against Al-Shabaab militants. The consignment comprised Tiger armored vehicles, fuel, water tankers, helmets, vests and other resources. The African Union recently handed over a large batch of military equipment to Somalia's military, including Tiger armored vehicles, fuel and water tankers, helmets and vests. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Somalia said the equipment was received on March 27th and introduced armored vehicles, engines, medical supplies, fuel and water tankers, helmets and vests, and other essential resources to bolster the country's infrastructure and contribute to regional stability. Somalia has received a large number of donated vehicles over the years. from the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, Qatar, and Italy. The African Union has also provided other support to Somalia, for example, in 2017, handing over mobile kitchen units, sleeping bags, mosquito nets, non-metallic bulletproof helmets, and tents. Somalia's cabinet approved a new security pact with Saudi Arabia to strengthen military cooperation, improving intelligence sharing, and jointly tackle terrorism in the Horn of Africa and Gulf region. The memorandum of understanding proposed by the Ministry of Defense and ratified during a cabinet session led by Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre outlined a framework for bilateral defense strategy, counterinsurgency efforts, and enhancing capabilities of the Somali forces. Somalia's cabinet has approved a new security agreement on Thursday with Saudi Arabia to boost military cooperation, enhance intelligence sharing, and jointly combat terrorism across the Horn of Africa and the Gulf region. The memorandum of understanding submitted by Somalia's Ministry of Defense and endorsed during a cabinet meeting, chaired by Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre, establishes a framework for bilateral coordination on defense strategy, counterinsurgency, and capacity building for Somali forces. Government officials say the agreement is part of Somalia's effort to strengthen ties with Gulf countries and seek reliable partners in addressing persistent threats from Al-Shabaab and ISIS. Somali officials view the deal as a strategic milestone that could serve as a foundation for future cooperation beyond security, including trade and cultural exchange. In addition to approving the agreement, Thursday's cabinet meeting reviewed updates on security situation, including recent military gains against Al-Shabaab, preparations for upcoming Hajj pilgrimage, and briefing from a committee coordinating battlefield support against terrorist group operating in Somalia. That story wraps up our bulletin this evening. Thank you for staying informed with us. For continued updates, follow our news platforms and stay tuned for more breaking stories. I'm Abdurrahman Yusuf signing off, wishing you peace wherever you are. Good night.